Welcome my YouTube. I'm about to make your hump day a little bit better because Donald Trump just got a taste of his own medicine from a world leader who cut right to the core, right to the quick of the soft kryptonite belly spot of what really gets Donald Trump angry. And I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds because one of the things that all of the Trump supporters have talked about, that you've heard in interview after interview from 2016 to 2024, was always about how Donald Trump tells it like it is. And he's a tough guy, and he talks like we talk, and how we talk around the kitchen table. Whoopsie poop, what happens when a world leader, a respected world leader, a very eloquent, smart, sharp world leader actually puts that right back in your face on a sort of high school juvenile level we can all appreciate, because we all know Donald Trump is basically 9 to 12 years old on a given day. I'll show that to you in a few seconds. But this is an example of how easy Trump is to play when all you have to do is pat him on the head and tell him how much you love him. And of course, his obsession with Vladimir Putin. Check this out. With that being said, I got a very beautiful letter from Kim Jong-un yesterday. It was hand-delivered, and then we fell in love. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they are great letters. I think we'll have another meeting. He really wrote a beautiful 3-page, really beautiful letter. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, there's only one way you are going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States. But Viktor Orban said it. He said, Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nothing was going to happen. The whole world was at peace. And now the world is blowing up around us. Oh, but there's more. Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart. To which I was greeted with, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. I like to tell the truth. Yes, he's smart. The NATO nations, they are not so smart. They are looking the opposite of smart. If you take over Ukraine, we are going to sanction you. They say, sanction? Well, that's a pretty weak statement. Ain't it funny to hear him say that before? And now with the fact he hasn't done a thing, Putin is saying, oh, they're going to sanction me. They sanctioned me for the last 25 years. You mean I can take over a whole country and they are going to sanction me? You mean they are not going to blow us to pieces, at least psychologically? We fell in love. Yeah, they fell in love. No, not just Kim Jong-un, not Viktor Orban, but Donald Trump has been in love with Vladimir Putin for a long time. And we all know it. But the Prime Minister of Australia just characterized it in this breaking story in the greatest way I've ever heard anyone say about what he just experienced with Trump and Putin in their presence. You got to see this breaking story. Here it is. When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team. My hero. It is really creepy. It's really creepy. And it struck you at the time? Oh, absolutely, it struck everybody. It was like you could touch it. The creepiness was palpable. Are you trying to say they are having a bromance? No, I'm not saying. I'm just telling you what I saw. Regrettably, the Republican Party under Donald Trump, and particularly the right wing of the Republican Party, are very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin. I mean, I've been with Trump and Putin. Trump is in awe of Putin. Tyrants are often popular. You see, the key to democracy, liberal democracy, is that it empowers the majority, but it also, through the rule of law, constrains the majority. And if you get to the point where anybody who can muster a majority, and I don't think Trump can do that, by the way, but anyone who can muster a majority is given absolute power and then can do whatever they like to the minority, that's not a democracy. That is a tyranny. That is an autocracy. Even if it's got the support of 50 to 51% of the population, that is not what makes a democracy. A democracy as we understand it is one where the rule of law protects all citizens and the rule of law applies to all citizens, whether they are the president or the prime minister or an ordinary, elector. Creepy. He said creepy. And that's exactly what it is. And he was characterizing the sense, the stench, the creepy heavy weight of the moment of this guy just licking the boot of Putin by how he stands in his presence. That is such a real thing in life, and we all know it. You can step into a room and your gut will say, wrong place to be. You can step in, shake someone's hand, and look them in the eye and go, oh, wrong guy to be in business with, or gal to deal with. You can always feel that stuff. And to hear an eloquent, sharp prime minister of a massive other country say that he can feel it and everybody in the room can feel it when Trump stands near Putin, aside from the scent, of course, coming from Donald because of other issues he has. But to hear a prime minister say that, to confirm and use the word creepy, and the metaphor of a 12-year-old boy going to high school, meeting the senior quarterback, and just can't control himself, is maybe the best characterization I've ever heard of how weak, pathetic, and anything but strong Donald Trump really is. Because he isn't. It's all smoke and mirrors. And the smoke is starting to turn into fire.